welcome to another episode of Coffee with Cliff. Today we're in beautiful Bryan, Ohio outside. We're going to talk about some coil cleaning stuff. And we've got Jackson and Doug to help out with coil cleaning. And we're going to cover a lot of the things that you should know to make sure that your coil is clean, how to diagnose a coil, if you're not sure if it's clean or not, with some temperature measurements, and a lot of other things about coil cleaning. So let's get started. All right, when we're looking at the barred unit, some things to know is a typical barred unit brings the air in through the sides and out the front. Now that'll be model dependent, but for the WA and the WH that we're going to look at today, it's always going to be in from the sides and out the front as far as condenser airflow. Now when we're going to take measurements of temperature to see how dirty the coil is, that's one of the best ways you can look at a coil and tell if it's dirty, is to measure temperature coming in and temperature coming out. We're going to need either a tech eye for the multi-tech products, or we may need a set of jumpers like alligator clips for the standard product, or we could use the thermostat inside to turn the unit into full load cooling mode. All right, we're going to take some measurements now. We've got the unit in full load cooling, so we're going to take an average of both sides, and we're going to take some averages on the front of the unit. So we got about 77.5 as an average.
Yeah.
You notice that Doug's taking some measurements up underneath the shield, up towards the top of the coil. That's a pretty good place to start taking some measurements. How many measurements do you think we should do, Doug, of the condenser coil?
We're going to get about 4 to 6, about 6 inches in from the outside edge around the coil. So we got about 110 here, about 112 there, about 106 there, 115, 114, and about 110.
So around the 110 to 115 range, you thinking?
Yeah, I'd go about 115.
And it could vary when you're measuring on the coil, right? Because we don't know where the dirt's packed in. A lot of times it's going to be packed in around the outside and not so much in the middle. So we want to get a good average of the temperatures. And then if we're falling in the 30 to 40 degree range, then that's a pretty good indicator that we want to do a coil cleaning.
It's important to note that we can't use the outside appearance of the coil as a reference for how dirty it is. The outside of this coil looks pretty clean, but as we noted, we have a 25 to 30 degree delta across the coil. So in a minute, we'll take you inside and show you what the inside of the coil looks like, and that's why this coil is going to need cleaned. In order to gain access to the coil, we're going to have to take off one of the side grills. It's important to note when you're taking these off, in some models, one side will have shorter screws than the other. When we're putting that back on, we want to make sure we put the short screws on the coil side of the grill. That way we don't puncture any of the return bends on the coil. Another thing to note, it's always going to be easier to access the coil on the non-compressor side of the unit. So you're going to want to start on that side. As we mentioned earlier, the outside of the coil may be clean, but the inside can hide a lot of dirt. You may need a flashlight, but it's important to inspect the inside of the coil to see how much dirt there might be.
Okay, we've got the upper front off too, and I wanted to show you the evaporator coil as well, because there are times where the evaporator will also need to be cleaned. Typically what we see, especially if it's a very dirty industrial environment or the filters haven't been changed a lot on a regular schedule, is you'll start to get dirt buildup on the evaporator coil. And that can interfere with water running off of the coil surface into the pan. Sometimes it'll drip right off the coil. So you're going to want to keep your evaporator coil clean too. And you can use a very mild cleaner. They have cleaners that are a non-rinse. If you use that, then make sure you follow the directions and use something very mild. If you're going to use something that requires a rinse, like an alkali cleaner, make sure you rinse the coil surface off very well when you're done. And that'll help protect the coil too and keep it so that the water's running off of the coil surface. Remember to always clean your coils, especially if you're in a heavy industrial environment, to clean them frequently and watch for cottonwood fuzz like you saw in the video. It's usually on the back of the coil, so you can't always tell from the front. And there's a lot of good videos on our website at www.bardhvac where we actually show cleaning the coil as well. And you can always look at the user guide and manual for more information. Thanks a lot.